All right. So we did webinar yesterday. I'm going to do webinar today again for those who couldn't attend yesterday and those who want to be here. And we're going to go over the market actively today and look at some trades on the app. So, all right. Let's begin. So let's first look at the SPY. And we have our levels that I gave you yesterday in the newsletter. We are sitting firmly on our first support. We might retest the 7,300. There is a gap, and it would not be anything out of ordinary. That would be actually close to the 20 moving average as well. Right now, we are sitting on the 10. We'll see if it holds. Normal retest, guys. Look how much we ran. And the issue with those retests, they happen. You just don't know when. And as you recall, we've been saying for a week that there is a need for a retest. Of course, it's ugly because when you're in the swing trades, you get stopped out. The question there is, if you're not in swing trades, you're always waiting for a retest, then you're also missing gains. So that's the situation with the market. You kind of never know. You can have your stops and just play it as you go and be smart about it and not freak out, right? Because this will be happening. As I said last week, something like we had here in April would be great. We need to catch up on the moving averages. And again, the 20 would be also fine. It just gives us really good place to allocate and find different setups, more the reversal plays than breakouts. Okay. So yesterday I was posting the names that are top in the score. So let's look at the score. So it was SATL, pardon me. We talked about it yesterday. 10 was a huge Jack's wall, and we were expecting the retest. So you're getting the retest now. It's still pretty far from the 10. So even the retest down here towards 8 would be great. But another way to play this is just to wait for a little bit of chop around and then break out of the 10. So again, you wait for a retest, and this is how you trade always. You wait for retest towards the 8. If you don't get that retest, you will then play the breakout of the 10, and the next level we looked at yesterday was 12. All right, so what this scanner helps you to do, you look at the score, you see names that have strong momentum, and you will play a setup that you want to play, you understand, right? Again, it's reversal, retest, or breakout. So for people, they want to play the whole strategy, you just allocate in those names and hold for 2 weeks, right? So again, we explained it in very detail yesterday. This strategy is tested. Of course, this is not a financial advice, and we cannot guarantee you this is going to work next year, right? Things might happen. But so far on thousands and thousands and 10,000s of different scenarios, the strategy worked if you hold all of those names. If you're going to hold 9 of them, it's not going to work because one of these names might go up a lot and you miss that particular name. So this is how you play it. For what I do for people, I look at those names like Band. Band had a really good score and it looks amazing, probably goes to 65, 60, 65. But sometimes you just don't want to play because you don't have an entry, right? So you can, of course, you can just buy at the open and you would be up 2-3%, 4%. That's also possible. But here you could probably play the breakout of the previous high, which is happening right now, right? That would be another way to play this name. But Ben just keeps grinding. We played it last week and it's still flashing on the scanner. So as I said, SATL has a retest. MXL, let's look at that one. Sorry, the internet is kind of slow, so it's loading a bit longer. But MXL, a strong, powerful breakout of this level is the play. So I don't know if some of you entered, you're still good about the stop. It's probably going to retest a little bit and go up again. But those who are not in, I think the 94 is a good entry afterwards, right? So VSTS, this one is still not, we have the breakout here, so it still didn't happen. It's holding pretty well, actually. RXT is a penny stock, so of course it's dying, and we had the breakout 732. So now, since we had this big dump, I wouldn't touch it at this point. I would say that we could bounce here probably, but this move is just too crazy. This is like abnormal, paranormal distribution, I would say. So it can might as well fall down to the free to the free 23, right? We got out last week, so hopefully you guys are not in. We played it actively actually in Discord. So AIP. This one looks nice. So I had the level of this candle as a breakout, but now look, so this is a perfect example because we did not have the breakout here. You have another way to play this, which is the 10 moving average and breakout of this flag. So you can lower the entry to 30, around 33.80 and play that one, right? It's going to be even better risk to reward because you can get in if we break out this level and have a stop around 31 and then play the top the 40 target approximately or higher. We have target 50 because we saw a lot of flow here on this name. So let's look at AIP. 50. So that was the target, right? We see the flow up there, but again, 40, 45, these are all the levels of interest at this point. So 40 would be like my first target. This would be the setup. And then if we see momentum, you stay till 45. You don't have to get out. You just re-evaluate as you go, because if you have a lot of momentum and still people want to buy, why would you leave, right? So this is an adjusted AIP. I like this setup ongoing. KOPN, this one also didn't materialize. That's why, again, it's important to have the entries and understand technicals because you know that you play breakout to confirm the price action, to confirm there are buyers. If you do not, if there are no buyers and the stock is going to fall, you are not in a risk because you did not enter, right? If you have a stop limit order. So now with this name, quite frankly, it broke down the triangle or the pennant formation, as you can see. At this point, I would wait until it reaches the 20 moving average, which is around somewhere here. Or maybe it's going to come back and break out again, but I would not change this setup right now. I would want it to prove that there are buyers and go about this level here, or at least retest 20 somewhere around. So these are the two setups, and I will update them for you today in the newsletter. I'm just explaining to you that if the setup doesn't work out, stop limit doesn't get executed, you can look at the chart and change. Okay, I'm going to wait for retest lower, or I'm going to change the setup. So VPG. This one is on the scanner. This looks pretty good considering how bad today is. I think actually these levels of entry, if we get back about the 105, would be kind of an entry because you see Vivicta, we tried, but one, two, three times trying. I think the fourth one will be a breakout. And again, it might fail, but that's the probability, right? We are pushing higher. You can see there are higher lows. So that would be a fun entry then about the 105 with the stop somewhere at 95 here, 96, and then go higher. Let's look at the jacks on this name. You always look at that. VPG, a lot of positive flow and a lot of 120, 130 strikes looking pretty good, which is high up. But again, that's your setup, okay? Does it make sense so far? Does this make sense? You guys following? This is how we use the chart. Okay, perfect. This is how we use the scanner and the chart. So this is again for people, they want to individually trade. They want to look at their setups. They want to be in control of those setups and understand. Of course, you can never be in control of your market. That you can be in control of your risk management, right? You can have the entries and levels. Yeah, so of course, Buck, the market makes us cautious and makes us, nervous, of course, in certain names, like semiconductors clearly are selling off badly. But again, if you look at MU, so today the candle is horrible. But if you just look at the chart, and do Fibonacci retracement from the low 311 up, the 0.61 is here at 512. So even if we would retest towards the 512, if it's still nothing that's out of ordinary, it would be totally fine. At this point, I think we're headed at least to 617 at the 20 MA. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Click is the trade we still have opened. We got stopped out today out of ASX. That was unfortunate. And I closed the ETA because it's just really frustrating. But in any case, I can open the trade log for you as well, and we can look at all the trades. I mean, you have the trade log. So we have Nvidia was trailed to 224, and that is closed with profits. And then we have STM still opened, which again holding pretty well considering the situation. I would now have stopped. I think I trailed it to like 61 or 59. You don't want to lose on this trade anymore. We've been in this trade since 58 entry, and hopefully now it's just retesting. We're gonna bounce back up. We'll see. Someone is asking, Stella is asking if I'm using moving or simple. I'm using simple moving average, honestly, but there is no right and wrong. I don't really believe of trading off of the moving averages. I do look more at volume profiles, which we have coded in our scanner, but I like to see the trend with the moving averages. That's all why I use it and see where we are approximately. I wouldn't just play the trades. I wouldn't just play based on the moving averages. But again, like to see them aligned, you see what kind of trend you're in. But again, we have it all on the app, right? We show you the trend. You see it right here. So everything about 200 moving in a aligned trend, longer term uptrend is going to have a trend arrow up. What is down is down. Okay, so you see TTD is downtrend. All those long-term holdings are downtrend, and the momentum uptrends have arrow up, right? It's pretty clear on the scanner. So again, for short-term trading, you kind of ideally want to trade uptrend for long-term positioning. If you want to be buying dips of companies that you really like and you want to allocate, it's okay if it's in a downtrend. That's as I said yesterday in the webinar, you can be buying like Microsoft, for example, in downtrend because it's a robust company. You are betting on the reversal, and we were, for fact, adding Microsoft for 360. So that's just a big difference, and you need to be patient and have time with those. And here you do not have patience. Okay, you wait a couple of weeks max, and that's it. If the stuff doesn't do what you want it to do, or if it hits your stop, you're out. Because there's a lot of those names in the short-term trading or here, they are very overbought and they will be overextended oftentimes, right? So you don't want to be holding those long term because you're not buying long term in those kind of price ranges. This is very important to understand. You're not going to buy something for long term when it's flying and it's up 100 or 50%, right? That's not what you do. You play it, you play the momentum, you're very fast, you have your stop or you have the time stop, which we use with our strategy, which is 14 days, or even the case of a horrible crash, you are going to use 10% on the portfolio stop. But this is very important when you trade. You need to understand the time. What are you doing with this money and for how long? Okay. So yeah, the market cautious, of course, but you need to be always cautious in the market, quite frankly. I don't think there were ever days when I wasn't cautious. And, quite frankly, you guys read the newsletter yesterday, what Varsh is talking about to do. Yeah, RXT. RXT, yeah. When did you enter RXT? RXT. Yeah, RXT, as I said, is probably gonna bounce here and you're gonna, are you entered this morning? Yeah, just hold for 2 weeks then. If you play the strategy, I don't know, like if you, okay, so if you want to play again, if you want to play it from the scanner top picks, but only one or two names, you must have the technical strategy as I'm showing you. You can't just go and buy it. It doesn't work like that. If you would buy all 10 of them, then I tell you just wait for 2 weeks. Okay? That's a huge difference. So if you just went in the morning and bought, yeah, I feel bad for you because then, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if you, yeah, but that's fine. It is, if you entered all 10 of them, you just wait. Don't freak out. Because again, like from the 10 names, there will be like, look at the results, right? So there will be RXT down 20%, but you're going to have two, three, four other names up 15% and 10%. That's why you have to always be calm. Don't look at the portfolio as a whole. Don't look at it as one. Oh my God, one stock is down. You can't. That is not how it works because you will drive yourself crazy, right? Look at the results. And again, if you look at some of these weeks, like MXL, some of these names were up so badly, some of these names were down. You have to just you can look at it at the portfolio as a whole, okay, when you play the strategy. With the strategy on the top 10, I would assume we dedicated 50% to this week's name and 50% next week, so we have rolling 2 week set of names. Th- That's not how I play it. You can have two different portfolios, but I mean, if you look, Josh, if you want to do it, you can, of course. You can have a one portfolio because you don't want to have two. And then you know that, okay, this is the basket of this week and this is the basket of that week. You can do that too. But again, to each their own. You can also play everyday one if you want and have 10 portfolios. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you have one account, you can also do that, of course. That's fine. You will say, okay, I'm buying on Monday 50% of my account, and that 50% you divide by 10, right? So if it's $100,000, you do $50,000 divided by 10, it's 5,000 each. And then you can be, um, sorry. It's again after, yeah, it's now you're gonna see it. Sorry, you guys are not seeing your chat. So now you should be seeing it. After I rebooted, it went back to the settings. Okay. So yeah, again, if you play the portfolio, just look at it as a whole, and you will see that one stock is going to be horrible usually or two, but there will be stocks that are perfect and they're going to push the portfolio. So look at it as a portfolio together, not one stock is killing you. If you just take one, then of course you have to follow technicals, right? So this one is plug is not good today. Sadly, it's of course very volatile name, so it's breaking down the 350 support. That's why we had the stop around there. Let me see. Let's see the trade log. I will find the trade log where I have it open somewhere. What was our stop on Substack? Sorry, on plug. Let's see. So in any case, this is all I want to talk about, how to use the scanner. Watch list, you can create your watch list. You have your scanner where you can scan. Let's see what today actually is rallying and what has the momentum. Jacks increase on call surge. Let's see. Spear. And also look at the IVZ score. That's also very important because it means that there is a increase in implied volatility on calls and lowered on puts, which is a bullish signal if it's positive. Okay. So today, yeah, it's going to be harder to find nice names today, right? It's going to be more difficult because we have ugly market, and that's why you can search here as much as you want. But after the close, we're going to have a score that updates, and then you're going to see what is going into tomorrow, what is having a flow and what is having momentum and what is having a bullish proposition, right? And then you can play around with this if you want to trade new names. But let's look here, UFO. Okay, so UFO looks pretty good today. Seems because of the war escalation. These names are doing well. Bollard Power Systems also pretty good. It's down today, but that could work pretty well. Yeah, exactly, Paul. A lot of names retesting 10 DMA. And look, it's fine because we need those days in the market. If we don't have the retest, it's not going to work. And a lot of nice names retesting indeed. Let's see. Microsoft is still holding. We have this one open still. It's not doing bad. The software names are having a little bit of a bit. IVG, sorry. The software ETF also is picked up pretty well. We are marching towards the 200, most likely. Let's see on scanner what is happening with IGF, IGV software. 101. Slow momentum, but it's ETF, so that's not that bad. 102, 101 is the target. Yeah, it's around the 200. So yeah, this one most likely going up, and software names are pretty good. Thick is my favorite one I have. This one is recovering, thankfully, but again, I would have a stop on this below 1945. If this doesn't hold, then you don't want to hold this name. Adobe. Also, this one is actually really nice, guys. If it gets about the 260 Adobe, we get into the gap and supply is up to 80 to 90. Adobe I like, and I like Figma. I'm still holding Dow since 22. A lot of you who are here with us for a long term are holding this name, and seems like we're just chopping now, and hopefully we take off. If not, I would trail my stop at this point to 35, not to give money back. Let me see. More questions. I think Stano had a question, I think, because I give. Oh yeah, you're asking where to find the recordings. Yes, absolutely. I usually send it into the chat where is our announcement about the webinar, and then I send it the link after I send there. But let me send you this here. I will send you guys the yesterday recording where I had actually George here who was going over the strategy in very detail, so you can review this one. But I'm going to give you the link. Sorry, my internet is very slow. This is really annoying. So I will send it to you, Stano, I will send you the link in Substack. Okay? This is our channel too, so we do a lot of videos there. And the trading webinar we had last week is there too. Okay? So that's pretty much it. I'm going to send you email. So as I said, use the scanner to see where is momentum, which has a high trend. Use the names for that. Don't freak out too much with the calls and puts because it's very volatile. They're updating a lot, and especially the JAX is updating frequently. It can get too noisy. So what is important for you really is the trend, is the strong momentum here. That's very important. Positive JAX is good. This just means the volatility in positive gamma environment will be less volatile when it's positive, more volatile in negative situation. Okay, and you want to have, as I said, positive momentum, positive JAX, a positive trend, and a relative volume. These are the most important things to look at, to be honest with you. And then if you have, of course, call surge, that's really good too. So let's look at Nokia. I want to see Nokia because we had the stop at 1450 last week with the profit, of course. We were trailed out. And I would like to look, yeah, it's holding on the 10 as well. We'll see if it recovers. It's a little bit weird, this chart, so we'll see. But I think Nokia is going to go eventually higher. The war in Iran is escalating. That's not doing any good. And when it comes to the inflation, yeah, we had high inflation, but honestly, I think they're just going to change the way they look at inflation. That's what Varsh already said. And they're going to pretend there is no inflation. That's what I'm estimating. But again, I don't want to be opinionated, but that's how it looks like for now. So, okay, perfect. Yeah, Nokia, again, it looks nice. I mean, look, it's on 10 moving average. It's not like it's dying or any of that, right? And it's okay that the stock takes a little break there. So, Nokia. Okay, you want me to look at QSMT and LT? QS. Hmm, I don't know. Doesn't look ideal here. Um, yeah, I don't like this chart so far. You know, at least if it gets above the 10 would be great. If you believe in this company, you want to accumulate it. I don't really pay attention. I don't know the financials of them, but for now you're just below major moving averages, so it's still in an ugly downtrend. It's trying to base, but for that you would have to have the 200 below and at least some sort of adjustment in the moving averages to set the stage one, but you're still in downtrend. So careful with this name, I would say. Then we have MT. MT. Okay. This one is better. This one is in uptrend. It's just taking a break. So You are in the chop here, my friend. So you wanna probably, I don't know if you hold this for long term. If you hold this for long term, it's fine. Just beware. It needs to break out the 67 and then go higher. Until then, you're just gonna probably chop. MTLT. You want me to look at LT? This one? Loss. I'm looking at stuff for loss. And if you text, please, you can set down there in the type window. There is everyone, host and panelist. So change it to everyone so people can see what you're asking. Can you please look at ONDS? Yes, ONDS. It's retesting this trend line here. I'm going to close the moving averages because it drives me crazy. But yeah, it's retesting and it broke out nicely but failed. So yeah, if you hold about the 200, my friend, I think you'll be fine. Let's see what the option flow says. ONDS 9 and 8. Yeah, yeah, you need to hold about those levels. If it chops there and then breaks out, you're fine. If it breaks below the 840, it's not good. Okay? Another one, Rick Transoceanic has great momentum, just in bullish trend today. It broke out. What do you think? Okay, let me see. See, Rick. It's probably has to do. Oh, wow, nice. Okay, this is a beautiful one. This is a chart I like for short-term trading, right? This is great. Yeah, definitely. If you're in, the hold is great. I have stopped somewhere here below those guys. But let's look at the charts. Yeah, yeah, 710. 7 is a huge gamma ball. 550 below 710. Perfect. So yeah, so your support is a 710 makes sense because that's around the breakout. And 7 is a huge gamma. So I would have a stop. If you're playing it, I would have a stop at like 650, even tighter stop. It looks nice. If you're not in, you might want to wait for tiny retest because it's up a lot today. I'll put it on my watch list actually. I like this. It's up 8%. Yeah, you don't want to chase now, but you kind of want to see if you get any sort of retest or if not, then you play the breakout tomorrow. It looks really good. Thanks for finding it. Good eye. Okay, Stano found yeah, perfect. See, you found yeah, around 12 minutes yesterday or something around 12:50 we start inviting George and he was talking about the about the score strategy. So it's about 10-15 minutes of that. Intel. So I was just looking at Intel today, quite frankly, because it retested. These are two clusters of support. I have it charted actually. Two clusters of support, which should hold. It did indeed hold the first one around 103.50. Then another one is around 97. Then it would be a little bit below the moving average 20. And it's fine. This kind of retest is fine. Looks nice. If you want to play it, I would wait for breakout of the flag. So around 116 and then go higher. That would be my setup. Because right now we have this ugly, the problem is this ugly outside candle that's usually a bearish signal, so it can continue a little lower. So I wouldn't play it today. I would wait because you don't want to play the downtrend day. You want to play the breakout of after the downtrend. That's very important always because you just buy it now. Sure, you might get lucky and it's going to bounce, but to be safer, it's better to see that there is actually a buying pressure and then you play. That's why always look at this kind of formations. They are short term. The flags, the pennants, the triangles, the tiny, they are up to 2 weeks, the best probability of success. And then you can play the breakouts. Zoom. All right. So yeah, it broke out here and now is retesting the breakout, which is kind of nice. Again, this would be a good setup if you break out the today's or this move. So again, if you break out here, it's a pretty good setup because then it went back down and retested, went back up. Okay, Zoom looks good. It's again 10-20 moving average retests, you know. Doku. Okay, Doku also recovering. So look here, at least you see in medium term and short term, you have you are in entering uptrend because you have 10, 20, 50 already below. So ideally, this name, I would like it to be about at least 100 because that's going to probably bounce. It's going to be a struggle for the name. So being around 50, I think would be a good entry on strong volume because then again, it can like fail here and go back down. So if you get a bow, I would be targeting the 60 on Doku. Looks good. It's in downtrend on long term because you have the 200 and 100, but the shorter term, medium term moving averages are below. So it's this is called a base. Okay. A Arcade. Yeah, Arcade is dying. I don't know why. This name. Sadly, it looks like it's going below. Let's see. Yeah, probably going down to 8 and 7. It is in bearish trend, but 865 is a support, so you might be able to recover there, 865. But if not, you're probably going down to 8. Yeah, somewhere around here, probably next stop. So it looks more better as short than long, quite frankly. Arcat, SLNH. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, this one looks like it's recovering, huh? The 50 is gonna be about 100 soon. So yeah, it's a penny stock. It's hard to do technicals on penny stocks, but looks like it's entering some higher trend. And they had earnings or they have earnings when oh they had earnings today. Okay. Yeah, so this one it's not bad. Look, it's on 10 moving average. If you recover there, you can take it long again. So it's hard to do technicals on penny stocks. ARCH. I'm missing. Archer. Okay, this is a famous name. Yeah, it's in a chop now, in channel, like on the bottom of this channel, but you kind of want to wait for this to break out higher or play it from the channel bottom to the top. But you are taking a break after this big run. Boom. Okay, makes all sense. When earnings are tomorrow, okay, there is earnings. Let's see the option chain. But again, guys, I don't really rely on this. It's a 50-50. If you like to play earnings, you play it with some calls or puts or whatever strategy you choose. There is a huge flow to 7 and there's a huge level of interest at 10 and not much negative volume. So it could go to the 7 probably on good earnings. But again, I'm sorry, what I'm looking at. Ah, sorry, that's the wrong stock. ARCH, pardon me. I got the tickers. ARCH. Let's look. This one. Woohoo. Okay, sorry. Come on. ARCH. Oh. I can't find it. I have to check why it's not there. Sorry, I can't look at your ARCH. Are limited. Very strange. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I can find the sticker here for some reason. I have to look. I have to look with the development team. Why not? So this one, yeah. Earnings tomorrow. I can tell you the option floor. I will. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. ACHR. I was like, oh, what's happening? All right. So as I said, the flow looks like 7 could happen. Um, it is in downtrend still. 7, 8. I used to have this one and I had Joby as well for a long time. I was holding them. I was hoping they're gonna do something, but they didn't. Both of them. Joby looks a little bit better. Look, there is definitely something in the future that this names might do well. But again, if you own those, it's like Arcad, the same thing. They have great technology. It's a future of army or electric. These are the electric vehicles, right? The small flying electric planes, ACHR and Joby. I think they did some demo in New York last week. So again, these are names you're speculating on, and you might own a little bit of this and see what happens. It might be 10, it might be 1,000% at some point. Who knows? But again, when it comes to the technical, they have earnings, you will see. Seven seems like a level and eight, okay? ACHR. But again, I had all three of those before and they were doing pretty well, especially Arcade with the war, but then it just tumbled. So again, if you believe in the company, you believe in their project, you might own some for longer term. It's okay. It's like Rivian for me, for example. I also have some Rivian because I really love the cars. And I'm like, okay, well, at some point maybe, but look at this. It's you buy a little bit of this. Um, how can people see your positions? Do you only do those in Discord? No, Steph, I have it in the trading log. I'm surprised you guys don't have the trading log. So what we're gonna build this week, actually, we're going to add the trading log to the app. So you will be on the app, you're gonna be able to see the trades that are opened. Here is it. Oh, I will send you the link, but we're gonna close this because a lot of people had the link and they canceled and then just take the trades, and that's not nice. But I have no chance to, I have no chance to control this, so I'm going to close this soon, and we're gonna move it this week to the app. So whoever is subscribed will see the app. Here is the Google Doc, and I'm happy to go over the Google Doc with you if you want. Do you guys want me to go over it? I will look at now and Oklo also for you. Um, yeah, of course, Steph. Yeah. So how I do it, we write the setups for you when I post them in the newsletter. Okay, they are there. And what fills, what is closed is blue. And then at the end of the week, we are writing the total risk reward. And then if I change the setup, I will change it most likely today. I will change setups on AIP as I was explaining. I will look at some of those. If they are canceled, invalidated, I will write it there. Some of those names never fill. So I type it there close after I take them, maybe like 5 minutes delay. And again, you shouldn't be waiting. This is not a signal newsletter, of course, but it's just for you as a guide to see what I trade and how I manage risk approximately. But that just that I'm also having the strategy going, and I will be actually tonight coding the prompt on agent for public for tomorrow, and I will share it with you in the newsletter. So you know what I'm writing into public prompt for the agents, and that way I will play the strategy of the 10 names with the public. I just had $10,000 there for everyone to see that you can also play this with a small account, and we will be playing it live. So everything will be shared live for you to see. And again, you can start the strategy any day. You can start it on Monday, you can start it on Tuesday. Why I didn't start today was because the market, as I said yesterday, is settling, and on Friday we had a little bit red day. So I was like, let me wait till Tuesday and I will open the strategy tomorrow. I will see everything after close and let you know in the newsletter. Okay? So, okay, Gary. So let me look at now in Oklo. Now. Okay, now looks great. I think there is a little rotation happening to the software names. And again, now is another name that actually is breaking out the 100, which was resistance. Let me see. Service now. Yeah, 97.35 was the resistance around here. So it broke out. Now is a support, and we are marching towards higher levels. Let's see. 132 would be weekly. 128, 132. Let me move. This changes almost every day. So sometimes not, but oftentimes this changes. So, okay, that would be my target on this name. I think it's possible to have the target here because it would also fill the gap here. So now looks great. Another name. Let me put on my list. All right. So You wanted another name? Oklo. Yeah, Gary, look, you don't know. Don't stress yourself because honestly, tomorrow we might tackle the war and there might be some news. This market is just really dynamic and it's super news oriented. That's why I really hate using stops this year because it's more harm than good. And that's why we came with the strategy that doesn't have stops on individual names, but just on the strategy as a whole. Because honestly, I have to use stop losses having a product like this and having a lot of retail followers because I do not want people to lose money more than they should. And I think also for beginner traders, it's extremely important to have stops so you understand how the market works and not oversize. But for the strategy we play, we don't have stops on individual names because it's better to not have stops. You just get stopped out and most of these names go higher. Of course, there are also names they go down 20%, like you see it on RXT today, right? RXT today is down really ugly. So if you would just play that name and you don't have a stop, you would be down like what, 17%, right? So that's a lot. But if you play the whole strategy, you're fine because again, some of the names will be up, right? Band, for example, is up 6% and it keeps going. So this will be pushing your VPG. If you bought back all these names that we have in the strategy, then there are names that are pushing, right? VPG, if you bought this one is up 4%. If you bought band is up 4.5%. There are more names down today, but again, they might recover tomorrow. MXL is already, So in any case, what do you want? Another name? Oklo. Sorry, I'm trying to reply so fast to everyone. Oklo. Oh, this one, honestly, so annoying. This is tall double top here. 64, 81, $15 double top. More than that, almost 18. Yeah, it's going lower probably. I don't like I don't like this chart. INOQ with trailed stops. We made money last week. Good for us. Yeah, Oklo is a downtrend. It's not good looking. This one right now. I want to own this name right now, quite frankly, because it's in a downtrend and it's like even the chop failed, right? Okay, so I follow GLTB, GitLab. Let me see. That's the crypto name, no? GLTB. Okay, there is a typo. GLBT maybe? No. GitLab. GTLB. There, I found it. I found it. The four tickers. No, it's so annoying. Okay, GitLab. Well, it is recovering, yeah, a little bit, but you probably go up to 27. Doesn't look bad. It's GitLab. I think is the crypto name. No, it has something to do with crypto. I didn't own it, but I know it was very popular there at some point. No, it's software. Okay, I don't know this name. I heard about it, but I'm not sure what they do. Oh, similar to GitHub. Okay, yeah, we used GitHub to code the scanner, so not anymore, but we did at the beginning. Okay, yeah, look, it's basing for sure, recovering. So seems like another software name that's catching a breath. Not bad to have some of them. As I said, I have Figma, I have Microsoft, I have Adobe, some TTD, and that's it. Okay, we have Snow or Remex. PCT first. Sorry, I'm trying to go one by one. PCT. Okay, this is nice. This one is definitely trying to go. Nice breakout here. So you're getting to a zone. You see here this. There will be a lot of people on and sitting in bags. So you want to be kind of ready for that. That it might stay all there. Yeah. You have like 12 is a very strong gamma level, and the next one would be 15. And your 15, you see here, supply, it even aligns with the volume profile, the jacks. This is great, you see? So 15 is kind of a place where it could go, and that's your target, 15. Okay, and then stop, since we are breaking out here, I would have stopped at like 11. PCT, Remex, Arrhythmia. Okay, this one is retesting. It's moving higher. It's still in upturn. It's just having a 50 moving average retest. The metals, yeah, the metals are not so happy today, including USAR. I think we stopped out of this one today. MP, I trailed stop. USAR looked much better, and it's not in downtrend. It's just a medium downtrend, but it's overall uptrend. It looked better than MP, and it could bounce here, but again, it's just like an annoying chop. But as you can see, we are creating higher lows, and this is just like probably short-term weakness. But if you would break out those levels, if it's a longer-term holding, you're fine. I closed it because it was a short-term trade and I don't want to lose money more as I need to. But this should hold these three levels here, okay? And then you will see if it goes higher. But a lot of people hold this for a longer term, USAR. They have their thesis for why they hold it. We go to FRVO. Is it something with shipping or off energy? Wow. Okay. Well, here I can't do much technical, my dear. That is really impossible. We don't have much data, but we can look what our option chain says. Wow, 50. Okay, 50 seems very powerful level. You see, no zones detected still because we don't have data. All right. It is selling off, but it's a very low sell-off. As you can see here, 0.3 relative volume today, which is not bad. It's probably just retesting and most likely going to go higher towards the 45-50 level. Opinion on early performance handle IPOs. How I handle IPOs, I don't trade them so much. I wait for some data first, and then I do, unless I'm pre-IPO, which is not often, but some of the names I get in pre-IPO, like Figma. Okay, so on IPO, honestly, I just like to wait for retest, but this one looks, wow, it looked good. Now retest it, and it's probably gonna go higher. Looks like it on the option chain. All right, so lastly, I will go over the trade log, and then we will stop. Let me share the trade log with you. Share. You have, as I said, the link I sent you, but is this the Safari? All right, you see the trade log, right? Yeah, chat. Okay, perfect. So, as I said again, we write this for you after I post them. Okay, so for this week, we had these suggestions here or things that looked good. I will probably update them tonight. And then again, this is your entry, your stop, your target approximately. Whenever it's filled. When it's blue, it's closed. It helps me to know what is closed, what is still open. So we close this one. Oh, this one already we trailed out STM. Okay, we made money a little bit there. So we still have Click opened, we still have Microsoft opened, and we have what else opened? The NB is a long-term hold, but I have 4 as a stop in case it's also materials. Okay. So how you use it again, this is the exit, this is the risk reward, and I have a code for it. You see it up here. It's a formula that basically counts the exit number and how many percent I exited here. Why I have it? Because when I'm trailing stops, which is very complex, and I add it sometimes to when I trail stops, I would do like 50% here at a certain number, and then I would do the other level where I would exit it another 50%, and it would measure the whole entire risk to reward for me. And then at the end of the week, this is the sum of the risk to reward. So far, we are down a little bit last week, and every week you have the risk to reward. Risk to reward is 1% R, and then if you have 2.23, it's 2.23% on that week. Okay, so how I measure it is simply, I will show you because that's how I've been trading for almost 8 years now. And that's a way how you manage risk. If you guys don't know this, this is very important. So for example, click. I have an entry at 102, I have a stop at 97, right? How much money am I losing on this trade? Around $5, let's say. Let's not go to the decimals. But I'm losing about $5 on this. Okay, so if I have $100,000 I play with, or $10,000 I play with, I lose max 1% on a trade. So from $10,000, my max loss is 100. Oh, it's 1,000, pardon me. No, 100. Sorry, I'm idiotic. So what you do, 100 divided by 5 is 20, and you buy 20 shares. Does it make sense? If you have $100,000, your max loss is 1,000. And this is how you measure it. I don't know how much money you have, but this is how R works. So if I'm losing here $5 from $1,000, there will be 200 shares. 1,000 risk, okay? That's it. So if I get stopped out on this trade and I had 200 shares times 5, I will lose $1,000. And that's my steady number I will be losing after a quarter, or every month I can reevaluate how much money I have in the portfolio. If you lost money that month and you only have $9,000, then your risk will be 90. Okay? And that's how you do it. So please pay attention to this, because otherwise there is no way how you can measure your success and be consistent with trading. Does it make sense? So this is what you need to do when you trade just individual stocks with the scanner. You can just like YOLO, right? So you get the score, and then it's the same with AIP. That's why I do these charts for you, because that's how you count how many shares you buy, and each is going to buy different amounts, right? So here entry is 33.83, stop is 31.30, so it's $2.50 risk, right? So again, if you have $10,000 and you're risking 100, you do 100 divided by 2.5, okay? And that's what you do. How many shares you buy. And the same you do with 10,000 or 100,000, doesn't matter. You use like a simple calculator for that. It's easy. So that's pretty much how I play everything I trade, and that's what you see. It is easy, yeah. It's like a elementary school math. The problem is most people don't know how to do this, and they don't know about this. And then they are buying like oh, let me buy 100 shares of each. It doesn't work, because it's not gonna lead you to consistent profits, right? It's gonna lead you to a mess. And if you look at your trade log and on each trade you lose different amounts, it's not good. You can lose, let's say if your risk is $1,000, you can lose less, because you might be trailing stops and you might be taking partials. But if you're losing $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 and your risk unit should be 1,000, that's not a good sign, because then you will be having a hard time to recover. Right? So pay attention to this. This is very important. And what you see in the trade log, it's exactly this. That's exactly what I do there, and why you see these R's and these numbers there. You see here. These are the risks. So when I lose one R. That's it, which is fine. You know, sometimes I would go riskier and I would do it. I don't do it in the trade log with you, but sometimes when we play in Discord, I would be convict. I have conviction in one name or two. I would go heavier, and then you can lose 1.5, 2 hours. But again, if you have a conviction, you trade professional is good. But as a beginner, you need to have this in place and see how much you're losing. Look at your trade log really and see how much you're losing on a trade. And if these numbers are not similar, then it's something you need to work on, because that you will not be successful otherwise. Or again, if all of this is really stressful for you, you don't want to do any of this hard work, you can just follow the strategy and not freak out about it and just hold it. But then again, you need to be consistent with the strategy, because if you just pick one name from the strategy, you play it one week, you don't play it another week, it's also not going to work. It's all about consistency in trading and discipline. And it's sadly, but it's true. You need to be like a robot. That's why we're trying to help you with We're trying to help you with the strategy because then you can just type in on Sunday night or Monday tonight. We type in, let me buy these 10 names at the open, and you will just hold it. And again, some months will be ugly for some weeks, right? There is no other way around it. There will be weeks when you will lose and we will lose, like as you see here. You see, there were weeks when we lost 11% and SPY was up 7. You know what I mean? So sometimes, of course, we lost 5, SPY was up. But then again, here we made 27 and SPY was up 3. Here we made 25% and SPY was up 4. So you have to just hold and not stress yourself and have a conviction in the strategy, which we tested, or you do it manually with all of the above I explained. Okay? So that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions, I will be wrapping up and I will send you a newsletter tonight. Alessio was going to join us, but his heat broke, his water heat broke, and he was freezing in Switzerland. So he had to call because it's May and he's freezing there. I don't know what's going on in Switzerland, but but he is fixing his water. So I'm here, and it's fine because he taught me all about the jacks. I've known him for 4 years now, and he taught me everything about the jacks and option flows and all that stuff. So I can answer any of your questions on that. And I love combining it with technicals. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will be back on Thursday with educational, but I gave you some educational rundown now today as well. I will do it again on Thursday. Okay. And today we are actually relaunching the design of the app in about 30 minutes. So it's going to be really beautiful. We're going to have a dark version of it, and everything is gonna look super smashing. So please, I can't wait for your feedback. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.